Hi, I'm Dave Weldon. I'm at the Solar Schoolhouse this week, and we're working on a personal solar design. And the design that I've come up with is kind of a Santa Fe style house. I've decided that I'm going to build my house in the foothills above Sacramento, and I'd like to build it out of rice bales. And they have a very high insulation value. The last thing I've read is about an R53, which is an incredible R value for a natural substance locally accumulated in the Sacramento Valley from the rice farmers. I've done solar panels on the roof, a batch heater on the roof. The awnings on the south-facing windows I have designed to be louvered to latitude, meaning in the wintertime the angle of the louvers will allow the sunlight to enter the house, versus the angle in the summertime will keep the light out of the house. But because they are louvers, it will allow some of the natural light into the house. The solar batch heater is a custom design for a flat roof, so people from the street don't basically have to look at it. It covers a greater area, and I'm making the assumption that because of that it will heat up quicker. I've got solar panels on my covered porch. I've got solar panels on my roof. I've got an operable skylight in the back to help with ventilation. I have a covered entryway with a flagstone walkway for thermal mass. Winter sun will come in, warm this mass up, and I'll have a nice warm entryway. Interior of the house, I have thermal masses, the clear story windows, hopefully to absorb the winter sun and help heat the house in the winter. I have evergreen trees on the north side to hopefully dampen the north winds in the winter. Deciduous trees on the west side, so to prevent the sun from hitting the house in the summertime. Then the leaves will come off in the winter, and the sun can help warm the house. Raised flower gardens, natural grass, a water catchment system with a secondary solar system that I can use to irrigate my landscape. I'm here with 25 other teachers from around the state. We even have a guest from Israel. We're just learning how to bring the solar information into the classroom, the solar experiments, and the awareness of the power of the sun. It's just been fantastic and very creative and hands-on, and I've met a lot of great people, and the Solar Schoolhouse folks are awesome.
Hi, my name's Tina Cosby, and I'm from Palo Alto Junior Museum and Zoo, and I'm an exhibit designer. So I was here learning about solar energy and how I could incorporate that back into open-ended and interactive exhibits back at the museum. So one of our projects was to design a solar house, and this is the house that I designed. I decided that I wanted to do an unpermitted structure that was off the grid. So I did little, what I call pods. Each one's about 120 square feet, and that's the legal amount for an unpermitted structure. So this is my first thing I did was decide my basic needs. Bedroom, kitchen. I did want a washer, but I was okay without a dryer, things like that. This is my storage area for all my fun playthings like surfboards and just having that stuff out of the living space all in one spot. So I didn't worry too much about that design, but I did make sure that it was passive solar so that it would be temperature regulated. This one is the living room and kitchen, and this is an outdoor eating area because I thought that would be a great way to save on floor space, and I like to eat outside. I also put a little corncob oven out here. This is my bathroom and a storage area with a washer and the photovoltaic cells and whatnot. And then this is the bedroom area. So I connected all of these by a trellis that would help block the light, because one thing I figured out was that once I had 120 square feet, I only needed 12 square feet of windows, and I grew up in an underground house, and so I really love light and open windows, so I wanted a lot of windows, but I would be letting in too much light. This is south facing, so it's going to get a lot of sunlight. So the trellis helps cut down on a lot of that light, and it also gave me a place to put my photovoltaic cells. And the other cool thing is that if my energy needs grow, I have plenty of other space that I can add on cells to. This is my solar hot water heater here, and that's kind of near the kitchen. I'd have to pipe it over to the bathroom, or I could consider doing a secondary one maybe on this trellis here or on this roof or somewhere closer. Could have a deciduous tree here that would help block the sun during the summertime, and the leaves would fall off and you'd have more light during the winter time. The other interesting thing about this design is that as I go along and build each pod, I can build the pod and spend some time in it and learn from that to make some design changes to the next ones as I go along. And then I wanted to consider having a large garden space, which is why I did a little bit smaller house. And I've got an orchard back here. All of this is an edible garden. I grow all of my own food. So the last thing that I considered was a little home for my bees. I'm a beekeeper, and they also have a beautiful home, access to all of the garden, and so it's really a happy home for both me and my bees.
Hello, I'm Steve Gast, and I'm from Mitchell Middle School out in Rancho Cordova. It's by Sacramento, California, and with my partner.
Hello, I'm Rachel Chasson Nesher. I'm from Solar. It's Israel. I'm from Israel. Yeah. My partner will start.
Okay. We're out here at the Walker Ranch, and we're with the Solar Schoolhouse. And during this week, we've been learning about electrical circuits, how they work, how electricity travels, how a solar panel works with no moving parts, and how we can integrate this into not only our everyday lives, but also into our classrooms. One of the things we did, we had to design our own house and then present this to the rest of the class. Part of the house design that we have, you can see we have solar panels on the roof. We found out they have to be oriented toward the south in the northern hemisphere. We also have tubular skylights that we have for lighting the inside of the house. We also have a certain amount of overhang so we can shade the windows that we have on the south end. We also have the vegetation that's actually growing on the balcony, and that we had decided would be a good way to shade this part of the house, and it can be trimmed back as the owner would like in order to allow more light or more heat to come into the house. We also have an elevated area right here above the carport that is a garden, and this is also made with recycled materials, and we're thinking about something like a product called Trex, and it's a reconstituted product from plastics, and it doesn't rot. So we could go ahead and plant right up here, and we could use reclaimed water here, and we could go ahead and water our garden. So we have solar water heating, we have solar power, and we're using reclaimed water for our garden. Would you like to explain a little bit about the trom wall?
I'd like to explain about the solar heating, the solar water heating. Came straight from Israel, the invention.
So that, yes, and I had an excellent partner for this, and it did, and she made sure we got it all in. We also found out that if we have lots of windows exposed to the southern hemisphere, we can put in what's known as a trom wall, which is a solid mass that will absorb the sun's energy during the day and release it slowly at night, so you can keep your house at a constant temperature. And then we found out the ratios for that wall, for how many square foot of floor area that you have, how much wall that you need in your house. This one, because we worked on it together, we have a double-sized lot, we have a 2-story house, and it's an open floor plan, and that was so we could get the air to circulate that's on the inside. We would have a concrete type siding that can be purchased at any lumber yard. It's non-combustible, and it's also very user-friendly without using up wood. We also did a water heating system on the inside that would boost the system out here, so you could have on-demand tankless water heater to go with the solar water heater that you have on the outside. They make us think about not just solar, they think about our footprint on the environment that we are not only using up, but what we're leaving. What can we reuse, and how can we reduce the size of our footprint while we're here?